Hey, a few weeks ago I recorded a very interesting interview with Alan Holub about management, project management, where he said a very interesting thing, which I agree and disagree with, which was
this whole productivity thing is a trap. I just don't buy it. Is that the companies that focus on productivity destroy productivity.
I think he's right and wrong, like I said. Why he's saying that? Let me decompose that statement to details, and then we understand what's right and wrong. I believe there is. He said during the interview, you can listen to the interview, it's very interesting. He said during the interview multiple times that productivity, measuring productivity, asking people for being more productive, and pushing people to be more productive, and punishing them for being more productive, for being not productive enough, is a wrong concept at all, and it's going to ruin the whole business. It's going to only hurt the company, the team, and everything else. He said it multiple times. He also said that metrics and KPI and measuring performance is also a terrible idea, which is only going to punish people and not going to make them more productive. At the same time, during the interview, he said multiple times that it's very important to see that people deliver value to customers. So on one side, he's saying that measuring productivity is a bad idea. On another side, he's saying that the value which we deliver is very important. The output, the value for the customers, the functionality of the software, the working software is a very important indicator of our progress. So on one side, he doesn't want us to have any indicators, productivity indicators. On another side, he wants us to deliver the value. It looks to me that all this, it's not only his complaints about productivity. I think that it's coming from the problem, from the root cause of this attitude to productivity metrics, is that in most cases they're terribly wrong. The wrongest one is, for example, lines of code programmers write, or maybe amount of classes they create, or maybe amount of unit tests they write, and many other productivity metrics which bad project managers may force the team to follow, to obey, to work on. In this case, of course, if these productivity metrics are not aligned with the final output result, if these productivity metrics do not lead the team to deliver the final value, of course they're wrong. But let's back to the question. We want people, we want our team, we want our programmers to finally deliver value. So how do we, let me use this word here, control. I know you don't like these words, many people don't, but still, how do we know? Okay, let's replace control with knowing. How do we know that people starting from this point will eventually deliver the value when it's time to close the project, when it's time to actually pay the money for that, or I don't know, pay for the phase, or pay for the milestone, pay for the period of time, pay for this. So how do we know that programmers will actually get there? We can, for example, see pieces of working software, or we can see amounts of features, or we can see, I don't know, what the team is working on. For example, it's a research team, then there will be no working software till a certain point of time. So we can see maybe some technical reports published, or we can see some explanations written, maybe some documentation written. So there will be some productivity metrics, some productivity milestones, productivity points of control. We cannot completely trust the team that they will deliver something in the very end of the project, and then hope that customers will gonna love that and they will gonna appreciate the work. So we need to define some points of control, and we need to measure what's going on. And the job of a project manager is actually to decompose this value which the customer expects into intermediary results, which in the best case, like Alan Holub said, should be pieces of working software. So definitely that would be the best control points. Let's say every Friday we want to see the working software, and we want to show that working software to our customers and get the customer's feedback, and the customer has to approve that yes, this is the functionality we were looking for, we like that functionality, please go on. That's an ideal situation. But again, it looks like more like a utopia. It's not going to happen in the real world, because the team, if there's some serious project and they're working on something big, then it's not going to be so easy to demonstrate something which the customer can understand, appreciate, analyze, and give you the checkpoint that everything is good. We're going to have multiple metrics, not just one. So a good project manager has to introduce more control points than just working software. It has to be something else, something more. A bad project manager will measure the amount of hours you spend in the office. A bad project manager will check how many times you punch your card into the office and how much time you spend on the lunch. A bad project manager is going to count your lines of code. A bad project manager will count how many times you attended the meeting and how much hours you spent on the meetings. And if you spend less than that, then you're not a good performer. Those productivity metrics, are total garbage. Of course, we're not going to use them. But instead of them, we need to use correct productivity metrics. And availability of the working software is one of the greatest productivity metrics. The job of the project manager is not to sit and watch what's going on. The job of the project manager, the good project manager, okay, maybe there is no project manager in an agile team, according to Alan, but there is some management. Maybe the team gets together and together decide that our control points will look like that. And at those control points, we need numbers. We cannot just say, yes, we passed the control point. We have to say we matched the expected numbers. We wanted to have the working piece of software. We do have it, and it has certain amount of features, or maybe it was successfully demonstrated to 5 customers out of 7, and 2 customers said, no, we're not happy, and 5 customers said, yes, we're happy. That means the control point is passed. It's your creativity. Think about this, how you design those control points, but they have to exist. We cannot just rely on the final result. We need to make it agile way. We have to make it incrementally. But incrementally means collecting metrics incrementally as well. They have to be incrementally collected productivity metrics, properly designed productivity metrics. So thinking and saying that the whole productivity is a bad idea, I don't agree with that. We need to measure productivity of the team, and the team has to know how productive it is, how it moves from control point to control point. And the team has to have this information. There has to be a feedback from the environment, from the company to this particular team, that you are moving according to the control points you guys designed, you define. Maybe you can correct them, maybe you can change them, every week or so. It depends on the reality, of course. You cannot go down the road having all the control points designed, predefined when you start a project. You have to correct them down when you move through them, but they have to exist. There have to be metrics, and they are, I don't know any other name for them aside from productivity metrics. We do measure your productivity, believe it or not. And some people may become less productive, some teams may become more productive. That's reality. And there has to be a mechanism of rewarding more productive teams and people and punishing less productive teams and people. That means feedback. Punishment, rewarding, that means giving feedback to them. Because not in all situations the team will move the right way. Sometimes the team may go the wrong way. And the people who stay on top of this team, people who control the work of this team, has to give some feedback to these guys, so you are moving the wrong way. That's how it works. I don't feel this as a abusive setup, as Alan said in the interview. So think about this and watch the interview again. But now you know my take on productivity. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.